Hello, Melanie Moorcroft here, and we're going to consider today your reasons why you should become a more effective leader. We will talk about what I often hear from business leaders regarding their leadership development. We'll identify some key hurdles or obstacles that we often face in our business, and how these hurdles usually fall into 5 areas or domains where we can focus our leadership effort. We're going to look at some of the responses I get from business leaders when I ask about their leadership skills development. First ones I often get is, where should I start to develop my leadership? They don't have a clear understanding or a framework or a systematic approach. Or I could take a course. I will look at what my professional association offers. And often I see this, is that business leaders take a sporadic ad hoc approach to their leadership development. I also hear my big issues are with my people not doing what they should. This is around judgment and blame with regard to your people and not looking at our own leadership. The other thing I hear is, I've already completed my continuing professional development, CPD, for the year. Therefore, I don't need to do any more development for the rest of the year. I sometimes hear, my business is successful. Why should I do anything different? There's no thought around the strategic growth or developing people to step up and become leaders. The other thing I hear is, I don't have enough time now. I'll think about it next year when we are less busy. But as leaders, we need to think and behave differently if we want any changes in our business. We have to be the change we want to see. Before dealing with how to become a more effective leader, we need a compelling why. To change the way we think and behave requires focused effort. Personal change is not always easy, and I know that from my personal growth in my leadership career. You need a strong why. Using a structured and focused approach helps us to become a more effective leader. The following discussion will outline some of the hurdles that we may face in our small to mid-sized professional service businesses, and why we can use these as a reason to improve our leadership practices and skills. As business leaders, we face many hurdles. However, we can use these hurdles as our why and our focus for becoming a more effective leader. We are not alone. We can use evidence-based methodologies and learn from others to enhance our leadership skills and practices. The following are some of the hurdles and obstacles that I see business leaders experience. Think about how they resonate with you, and what is your why for becoming a more effective leader. Some of the common obstacles and hurdles I see is that the reality of owning a small, mid-sized business can put a strain on your work-life integration. Leaders often regret that they have lost sight of their family commitments and their own well-being, and this is where the importance of knowing your personal values come in. We see business leaders whose work life is not integrated or harmonious. And because they're thinking around so many things and trying to be strategic and operational, their communication is often not clear and sometimes misunderstood by others. You also may lack confidence in your ability to resolve conflict. So these whys can be a very strong reason for these hurdles for becoming a more effective leader. And we talk about this particular domain as focusing on enhancing your personal leadership as a role model. The second area that we see in a cluster of where our business leaders do not have clear strategic priorities and do not involve others in their business in their strategic planning. They feel frustrated because they're being reactive instead of proactive. And they often lack focus on their customer experience. Sometimes your people do not have a clear line of sight and commitment to the big picture, or they don't have a shared purpose. The second category is where we would like greater emphasis on direction setting, so that you established a shared vision and strategies to deliver customer value that is understood and embedded throughout your business. The third category of hurdles that we see is that people are not working to their full potential. that they often are quite capable, but they're not committed or aligned to the business. We sometimes see that groups are quite cliquey. There's a lack of diversity and inclusion, especially across different functions within the organization. And teamwork is often underrated and not usually effective. How we look at this then is focus on enabling people so that they can develop themselves and others, and that they value an inclusive way of working. The fourth area of hurdles and obstacles that we notice in smaller businesses are that people are not fully engaged or committed for whatever reason. We also see that trying to get any kind of change or innovation in the business becomes difficult. People are not change ready. They like the way they've worked and don't see the need to change. We also find that meetings are haphazard and ineffective and not scheduled or led very well. Here, what we see is that there's a need to create an engaging culture to help you facilitate innovation through collaboration using evidence-based methodologies. Lastly, the fifth group, what we see is improvement efforts that aren't always successful, that your business lacks clear and consistent processes of some of your major functional and operational areas, that your policies and procedures don't necessarily comply with legislation. I particularly see this in the health, safety, and occupational health and safety and well-being areas. Here we have a need, the why, to foster accountability and results delivery so that you can achieve measurable and sustainable results. The reality is that many of the hurdles and issues in our business are the result of ineffective leadership skills and practices. This reality can be hard to accept for a lot of us. But did you know only a third of us have an accurate perception of how others see our behaviors and our intentions? This research comes from Human Synergistics. A third of us underrate our effectiveness, and a third of us overrate our effectiveness. So which third do you sit in? If you would like to know about some of the practices and actions that can support you to become a more effective and inspiring leader, please subscribe to our channel. So finally, thinking about some of the questions to consider from what we've been discussing today. What is your why for optimizing your leadership skills and practices? What are your issues or hurdles that you would like to overcome? What are you going to do to improve the situation? We do have a Leadership Arena program, which is a monthly online self-paced program designed for leaders from small to mid-sized businesses. And this program aligns with the 5 domains mentioned in today's discussion, giving you some templates and some focused ways of improving your leadership skills and practices. However, registrations are currently closed for this program, but if you would like further information, please email us at support@smallchangesbigimpact.com.